Hello everyone, this is Palak Gupta, and today we are going to be discussing the solution to the questions from End Sem examination 2023. This video is made under the guidance of Dr. Shaligram Prajapit sir, so let's get started with it. So the first question was to create a visual representation of difference between the internet and the web. So as you can see is the visual representation of the difference. Moving on. The Internet is a global network of interconnected computers and devices that communicate with each other through standard protocols such as TCP/IP. It includes various types of networks such as LANs, WANs, and World Wide Web. The web is a collection of interconnected documents and resources, which are accessed using the HTTP protocol over the Internet. It includes various types of content such as text, images, video, and audio files. Now the next question is, what ethical concerns are associated with using the invisible web for data mining and surveillance purposes? The invisible web refers to the vast amount of content on the internet that cannot be accessed through standard search engines. This includes content that is not indexed or publicly available, such as password protected website, private social media profile, and unlisted directories. The use of invisible web for data mining and surveillance purpose raises several ethical concerns including invasion of privacy, unethical data collection, misuse of data, bias and discrimination. Now the next question is, how can an individual and organization use two-factor authentication and a strong password to enhance the security of their email account? So the two-factor authentication requires user to provide two forms of identification such as password and a verification code sent to their mobile or email address. This adds an extra layer of security and makes it harder for the hackers to access the account. Strong passwords should be complex and include a combination of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. Passwords should also be changed regularly, and individuals should avoid using the same password for multiple accounts. Next question is, what are the different types of malware and their impact on computer system, and what measures can be taken to prevent malware infection, such as using antivirus software and regularly updating software. Malware is a malicious software designed to damage or disrupt a computer system. Common types of malware include viruses, worms, Trojan horses, ransomware. Malware infection can have severe consequences such as data loss, identity theft, and financial loss. To prevent malware infection, individuals and organizations should use antivirus software, keep software and operating system up to date with security patches, and downloading or opening suspicious attachment link. Next question is, how can individual and organization train employees to recognize and avoid social engineering techniques such as phishing, pretexting, and baiting, and implementing policies to reduce the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive information? Social engineering techniques such as phishing, pretexting, and baiting are designed to trick individuals into divulging sensitive information or performing unauthorized action. To reduce the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive information, individuals and organizations can train employees to recognize social engineering techniques and implement policy and procedure to prevent them. This may include providing training on how to identify phishing email, avoiding sharing sensitive information online, verifying requests for sensitive information before providing it. Next question is, what are some different methods of securing data such as encryption, tokenization, and access control? And how can an organization evaluate which approach best suits their specific need? So different methods of securing data such as encryption, tokenization, and access control can be used to protect sensitive information. Organizations should evaluate their specific needs to determine which approach best suits their requirement. Encryption is a common method of securing data and involves complex plain text and ciphertext using an encryption algorithm and a secret key. Tokenization involves replacing sensitive data with a token that has no meaning or no value, while access control involves limiting access to sensitive information based on user permission. Next question is, how can individual and organization use email filtering, web filtering and firewalls to identify and block phishing and phishing scams? What are some best practices for responding to suspected attacks, such as reporting the incident to security team? Email filtering, web filtering and firewalls can be used to identify and block phishing and phishing scams. Email filter can be set up to block suspicious email or to send them to a spam folder, while web filter can prevent user from accessing unknown malicious websites. Firewall can block unauthorized access to computer system and network. Best practices for responding to suspected attacks including reporting incident to security team, reviewing access logs, and implementing incident response plan. Next question is, what are some of the most significant milestones in the history of cryptography, such as the development of Caesar, Cipher, and Enigma machine, and how advance in technology and computing impacted the evolution of cryptographic system over time? Significant milestones in the history of cryptography include the development of Caesar cipher, the Enigma machine, and the RSA algorithm. Advances in technology and computing have impacted the evolution of cryptographic system over the time. With modern cryptographic system using complex mathematical algorithm and key access protocol to ensure secure communication and data storage. Now the next question is, what are some key features of and limitation of popular cryptographic algorithms such as DES, 3DES, RC4, 2FISH, and AES? And how can an organization select the appropriate algorithm for their specific use case? Popular cryptographic algorithms such as DES, 3DES, RC4, 2FISH, and AES have different key size, block size, and encryption modes, which can impact the security and performance. Organizations should select the appropriate algorithm for specific use case based on their security requirement, processing power, and sensitivity of data being protected. Factors to consider including the strength of the encryption, ease of key management, and the potential of attackers such as brute force or side channel attacks. Now the question number 4 is, how do public and private key crypto system works, and what are some practical application of this system in real world scenario such as secure messaging and online transaction? Public and private key based crypto system works by using a pair of key, one public and one private, for encryption and decryption. In this system, the public key can be freely distributed while the private key is kept secret. When someone wants to send a message to the receiver, they use the receiver's public key to encrypt the message, which can only be decrypted using the receiver's private key. This ensures that the only intended receiver can read the messages. Practical application of this system includes secure messaging, online transaction, and digital signatures. Next question is, what are some design principles such as principle of least privilege and defense in depth the organization should follow when developing software and other systems, and how can this principle be effectively implemented using tools such as code analysis and penetration testing? Design principles such as principle of least privilege and defense in depth help organizations develop secure software and system. The principle of least privilege states that each system component should only have access to the resources it needs, while defense in depth means using multiple layers of security control to protect against attacks. This principle can be implemented using tools such as code analysis and penetration testing. Code analysis can help identify vulnerability in code, while penetration testing can simulate attacks to find weakness in the system. Next question is, how can organization defend against side channel attacks such as timing attack and power analysis attack, and what are some standard methods of detecting and mitigating this type of threats, such as using masking technique and implementing hardware level security measures? Side channel attacks are a type of attack that targets weakness in the system physical characteristic such as power consumption or timing. Organization can defend against these attacks by using masking techniques such as randomizing power consumption or adding noise to the data signal to make it harder for the attackers to extract information. Hardware-level security measures such as secure boot or firmware signing can also help protect against side-channel attack. Standard methods for detecting and mitigating this type of threats include monitoring power and performing regular security audits. Next question is, what are some key strategies for securing Windows system and implementing effective authentication model such as biometric and multi-factor authentication? Securing Windows system involves implementing several measures such as the following. First, installing regular security updates, configuring firewalls, using antivirus software, implementing access control, using strong password, implementing multi-factor authentication, conducting regular security audits. Next question is, what standard authentication model are used by organizations such as single sign-on and multiple factor, and how can organization evaluate which approach best suits their specific need, and how can organization consider which approach is best suited for the particular needs use case? Standard authentication models such as single sign-on and multi-factor authentication are used by organizations to enhance the security of their system and data. SSL allow users to access multiple applications with a single set of credentials, while MFA allow users to provide additional form of identification such as fingerprint or one-time password. Organization can evaluate which approach is best for their specific need by considering factors such as level of security required, the number of users who will be needing to authenticate, the cost and complexity of implementation. They can also consider the risk of different type of attacks such as phishing and credential stuffing and choose an authentication model that can mitigate this risk. Next question is, what is trusted computing and how does it differ from traditional security models? How can organizations leverage trusted computing technologies such as hardware-based security modules and remote attestation to enhance the security and integrity of the system and data? Trusted computing is a security model that focuses on the integrity of the hardware and software component of the system. Organizations can leverage trusted computing technologies such as hardware-based security modules and remote attestation to enhance the security and integrity of their system and data. Hardware-based security modules provide a secure environment for sensitive data and operation, while remote attestation allows organizations to verify the integrity of a system's hardware and software component before allowing access. Next question is, explain how the virus works. Explain any 10 type of viruses. A computer virus is a type of malware that spreads by infecting executable files or documents. Once a virus infects a system, it can perform various malicious actions such as stealing personal data or damaging files. Here are 10 examples of viruses. First one is I love you virus. Second is WannaCry, Melissa, Code Red, My Doom, Z's, Configure, Stuxnet, CryptoLocker, Mirai, etc. Thank you.